Morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope you all well. So I hope everybody enjoyed themselves last Sunday with our sort of day off after the high holy days in the month of Elul. It was a nice space, and I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. So I think today I have wanted to piggyback a little bit off the prayer gathering that we had on Wednesday. But first, just have a couple announcements. So I am going through and finalizing a lot of the teachings that were on the live section on YouTube since about March, and moving them to the video section and finalizing them. So you will be seeing a lot of posts this week. I hope to finish all of them this week. And that will just be the teachings being moved over and sort of polished up a little bit, some of them. And so I will not have them post on your subscription feed. But if there's a couple that I think are particularly helpful, I might post them. There is one that I just put up on the Aleph, which I've been meaning to flag as soon as I finalize it, and suggest that people who are new, or actually I think everyone, because it's so important. It's a teaching on the Aleph. It's the first teaching I gave on the Aleph, and it really discusses everything that it's about, the essence of it, and I think it's really important. So as you have time over the next couple of weeks, maybe you might want to take a listen to it. I'll send it out as a post, the link to it, so you have it, and it's a core teaching, one of my most important teachings, and it's called The Silent Source, the Aleph, Divine Breath, and the Light Before Creation. So I will send out the link, and it's currently the first video that's posted in the video section. So I wanted to mention that. So trying to clear up some of the backlog, and I'm also working to add descriptions to every video from March, and then I will go backwards from there. So it'll be clear a little bit what I discuss in each video, beyond the title, to make it easier for everybody to go through. So why don't we take a moment and take a breather. I think I've just said a lot as quickly as I could. The teachings, the prayer gathering on Wednesday, I spoke a little bit about space and taking that pregnant pause and touching in. It's really essential. And afterwards, I'm like, I should really speak about this on Sunday. I did not review what I said on Wednesday, intentionally did not do that. So each teaching could sort of stand on its own. There might be a little repetition. It is about the same topic, but I may add different things and it may be presented in a different way. And that way, there's sort of two resources on this teaching. So if someone hasn't listened to the teaching on Wednesday and they wish to dive a little further on this, they could listen to the teaching on Wednesday. And it's not the first time I've discussed this topic. It's a little bit throughout. And it's certainly not going to be the last time. The title, I felt particularly inspired last night, and it's pretty epic. And it's a title I will probably reuse. Space, the Final Frontier. Today, I'm going to be touching on this a little bit briefly. But I'm pretty sure one day there will be Space, the Final Frontier Part 2, because the title is that epic. And I think it really touches in on something really profound. Just the title of itself. There's so much there. And I really feel there's going to be a real seminal teaching coming from that one line. But it's not going to be today. Space. The month of Elul and the High Holy Days was a lot. For me, it was a lot. I'm sure for a lot of you, it was a lot. For a lot of reasons, which I'll get into. Very important what we did. Very, very, very important. And I'll get into that. But space, non-action, N-O-N, action, not action, N-O-T, not that, non-action, is very important. That's when we integrate. Which is essential. So we're going to take a moment now and catch our breath. I'm going to catch my breath. And let's just settle in. Pregnancy is important. The pregnancy of the mind and our thoughts. The space before words, before a manifestation, the space even before our thoughts. And we can live from that space. I've discussed a technique in the spring or earlier. Space, breath. It was in the late spring. When I find it, I will post it to the subscription page. Very, very profound school of meditation, which one of my masters was a master in it. So important. In the silence, there's God. In the silence, the pregnant silence, there's wisdom. in that silence, this true perception, in that pregnant space is found life. So now let's take a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Adjust your chair. Flat on the ground. Spine straight. And just breathe and relax. And let go of any thoughts. It's not pushing away thoughts. It's releasing thoughts. Thoughts are energy. So when you slow down, you feel the pull. From the center, you feel a pull with time, which is a thought. And it's subtle, but you can pull back from it. It's like you're about to catch a wave and you decide not to, because it hasn't fully gotten you yet. And there's a certain pulling back of your weight away from the wave, and then then it can't pull you along. Now, once a wave's really got you, it's really got you. And you're in for the ride, for good or bad. But there's a moment, and as you get better at this, even if the thoughts really got you, you could still pull out. But it's a process. At the beginning, there's a moment where you can just pull it back. You feel your energy pull back. And when I do it, I feel like I don't know how to describe it, but I feel something with my eyes when I do it. I've never explained this before or described it. Let me see here. My eyelids open a little bit and I feel the energy in my mind move forward to behind my eyes. Yeah. I'm not particularly doing anything with my eyes, but the pulling out of the thought causes the energy in my mind to leave the sort of brain area and move more into my eyes. Behind my eyes, I can feel it. One of the techniques, this might highlight why one of the techniques to pull away from a thought is to focus what you're looking at, which I've shared. Because when you focus what you're looking at, it takes so much of the awareness out of so much energy for seeing that there's very little left for anything else. And if you notice, when you're lost in thought, you're really not paying attention to anything around you. So if you would pay attention to what's around you, a lot of the energy of a thought goes away. So why don't we take a moment to try to touch into this space? What I described is a technique. Techniques are good, they're interesting. But what's really important is where the technique takes you. And it's a journey, but once you've sort of, for lack of a better word, mastered a technique, and you get to where it's trying to get you towards, that's where the important thing lies. So we're going to relax and breathe and release to the breath, so releasing the tension in our bodies. We'll see our thoughts and anything that blocks our pure awareness, and it is a term, from just being present and just seeing, hearing, and feeling where we are, its qualities, without naming them or describing them in our minds or characterizing them: light, dark, warm, cool, birds, air filter, the sounds, or pretty, annoying, too hot, stuffy. Those are descriptions, characterizations, and they're all thoughts. None of it's real. Noise, well, what's noise to one person might be beautiful to someone else. What's annoying to somebody else might really not care about it or doesn't find it annoying. Beautiful is subjective. Stuffy might be comfortable to someone else. Cool might be ideal to someone else. We're describing, it's the use of the mind. We're just experiencing it. And if you feel you're describing it, just go back to what you're seeing, or put your awareness in what you're feeling or what you're hearing, and just release. Let's do that for a couple minutes. You could also use the name of God, ABBA. That just blanks my mind every time. Why? ABBA, above, below, what the Star of David symbolizes, the two triangles, one pointing up, one pointing down, the Ah and the Ba. So the Ah is the square pointing up, and the Ba is, the triangle pointed up, and the Ba is the triangle pointing down. We reach up, Ah, Ba is the coming down. It's duality. The sound is the second that duality was created. That's why it blanks your mind. It's like two levels going on here. And the Ba is the bringing in of the blessing from God. We reach out, and the Ba grounds down, up, down. It's on my list of things to teach in the future. But the mantra, at least for me, the name of God, one of the main names of God, right? So if you go in the sequence of the names of God according to their frequency, Abba, Elohim, Yahweh, Adonai. Hashem's a little different from all of them in a way, so it's harder to characterize. Right? Adonai, Emmanuel. Feel like I'm forgetting maybe one. El Shaddai. Yeah, so I can't forget El Shaddai. Abba, El Shaddai, Elohim, Yahweh. Certainly by a certain frequency. But the Abba is the beginning. It blanks my mind. You're anxious, have emotions, saying Abba in your mind or out loud. See what happens. So with this as well, you can start with Abba. And see if you can drop into this space. Let's do this for about 6-7 minutes. You can take a sip of cool water before you start. Not if you have to get up, because the movement will stir you. Let's touch into the space. Okay. Take a few deep breaths. Come back to yourself. I do something like that. I kind of like putting both of my fingers over my eyes and kind of rubbing a little bit. It helps me kind of rubbing the whole face too a little bit on either side. Helps kind of bring back and touching the chest and the legs. Feeling refreshed? So, so when you do something like that, don't have any judgment if you struggle or thoughts go places. Don't get frustrated. It takes time. You just release and relax, and it's all part of the process. You get pulled away, bring yourself back, get pulled away again, bring yourself back. There's no judgment in it. And with time, it's fine. And I think people kind of got there. I think, and I've been sharing these practices for a while, and they're important. And I hope people, when they feel called, deepen in it and get more capacity in it. Why is this important? Why am I discussing this after the High Holy Days? And why is this the final frontier? I'm not going to go too much into depth in this. But in the month of Elul and the High Holy Days, we've been releasing and clearing. We've been praying. We've deepening our connection with God or Source or Spirit or the universe or whatever one wishes to call it. And that sort of clears. It clears the attic, clears the trauma, the attic in our minds, the attic in our bodies, the broken currents, the nadis, the chakras out of alignment, the sephirots out of alignment. We've moved and done some of that deep work. A lot of it was movement, grasping, doing, taking time, praying, yoga, walks, mantras, our intent to do something. It's a lot of action. It's a lot of momentum. Very important. For all the reasons I've discussed over the last 7 weeks. But we can spend our whole lives doing that. Again, we should, and it's very important. Not necessarily to that intensity, but we could have periods in our lives where we do things like that for years. I've done periods of intensity, especially when you're trying to clear something. But that's not the end game. It's a means to get somewhere. And where is it getting towards? Connection. We can connect by doing these practices, but ultimately, a lot of the practices hopefully at some point no longer become as necessary. Now, there's always need of periods of purifying, but it gets more subtle. We're purifying things that are less egregious or things that people would not even consider. You don't have the biggies anymore. The energy flows better because you've cleared your body, your sifrots are more aligned, and then popping into space through the skills you've developed could be done with intent, and it's almost instantaneous, and you can hold it. Holding space, yeah, it's a little contradictory phrase, but you can maintain it rather. If you hold it, good luck. You can hold it for a while, but it's not held, it's released into. If you hold it, it won't be able to be held for long because I'm not going to go into the details, but you release. And why am I discussing this now? Because it's where the attainment is. It's where our birthright is, and it's where our connection to God is, where we really feel it. We feel it when we're doing the action, but the benefits is living in that presence with a capital P. We pray because we should. We pray to connect. We pray to ask for things. We pray, hopefully, to also give thanks. But we can live in prayer. And that's not meaning that we pray 24/7, is that we've slipped into that open, pregnant space. And so after a period like what we went through, it's important not to hop into something new. Like a whole cycle of teachings, 2-3 probably, on chakras, which is coming soon. I'm like, no. Because why? We're just stacking things. It has to integrate into our bodies. We need to become the prayer. We need to be the embodiments of the covenant, of the commandments, of the behavior that's modeled, the good behavior that's modeled, the bad behavior, compassion, love, care, intelligent action, not recklessness, balanced. And these things just flow. And they flow from a space, the open space, the vibration of God. We call it the Shekhinah. Interestingly enough, the Aleph teaching, the first one, just manifested to be edited last night. I wasn't sure exactly where it was in the sequence, and then lo and behold, look what I'm teaching. And I had already intended to teach this since last Wednesday. I don't think it's an accident. The Aleph, resting in the frequency that emanated initially from the source of God. And that's the pregnant space. In the stillness is found the voice of God. In the stillness is found all the wisdom and intelligence and knowing. In the stillness is found the knowledge of what to do, not to do. In the stillness is found our higher mind. In the stillness is found great strength, perseverance, the ability to overcome obstacles, the ability to walk a walk that might be harder because you maintain your integrity, your ethics, and your morality. You don't take the easy road. The ability to change things. It's our birthright. We pull back from our habitual actions, from our limited thoughts and thinking, to something bigger, wider. And that space is what informs our mind, our thinking, our mind-driven actions. It reformulates, it changes. Karmic habits no longer drive us. We become more and more in our driver's seat. Our GPS, it becomes more plugged in to the Shekhinah, to the Aleph. Our map is different in our car than most other people's maps. So they look at us and they don't understand. Believe me, the way this world is, you really, not to be judgy, you really don't want to go with the pack. Not in a good place. So hopefully our GPS is different and will look odd. That's not necessarily a bad thing. The covenant, the walk in God's grace, the linkage to the Shekhinah is different. It's in alignment. And it wouldn't be different. This world were in a higher vibrational state. It would be normal. But I believe our walk is a walk that's in alignment. And it's not just our walk. We try to help the world with its walk to hopefully lead us all back the space. We should try to tap into it. It's not another practice. It's not another teaching. It's not another 5-10 hours in front of sacred text, though they're all very important and they lead to that, and it's a prayer and has beauty and power and everything. But the presence and the feeling that comes from that is important in of itself, not just the content, but the transmission that occurs. And so during this period, we've received a lot of transmission and clearing. And it's important to go a little slower. Not just to launch into the next thing, and then into the next thing, and then into the next thing. progress is delayed by doing that. A lot of road is covered in the not doing, in the non-doing, in just taking a walk and allowing everything to process into slowing down. Because it's there in us, but it needs room to move, room to infuse and go deep. If we keep layering on top, it never really goes deep into the soil because we've gone to the next thing, and then whatever happens just sort of never really takes root. I teach a lot of things. I've studied for a long time. I don't want to take 20 years to teach everything. So I teach a lot in a short period of time. But that doesn't mean you should practice everything right now. A lot of it is there for the future. When you're ready for it, the teaching is there waiting for you. It's important to learn. It's important to hear it. I've learned a lot of things, not quite when I was ready for it. And it helped me get there faster, and it increased my understanding. But all my teachers said, space. We're all trying to touch into the space. All the teachings are to reconnect us from God, the Shekhinah. We don't need all these teachings, all these practices, if we're able to just drop into the Shekhinah. It's all to get us there. The Shekhinah is a whisper. It's a subtle vibration beneath it all. But as we slow down, heal, line up, clear the pathways, soften our minds, slow down, that whisper is quite noticeable. And it doesn't quite feel like a whisper anymore. It's not loud, but yet you hear it clearly, and it has a lot of body, and you can feel its pull. It's directing you sometimes, your instincts, and you feel too, but it's aligned. Everything leads to this pregnant space. It's not empty. It's pregnant with promise. It's pregnant with wisdom and knowledge. It's pregnant with God. And we learn to rest in it. We learn to transcend ourselves, to move beyond ourselves, lower, not capitalized S, while being still. A more limited self, our self that's kind of in a box. And that transcendence is to our higher self. A self that's greater than what we think we are. That's the capital S of self. The stillness allows us to move beyond. to let go of what holds us back, to let go of the things that have caused us pain and still do, to move in the direction we would like to move. And I think we all kind of want to move in the same direction. Otherwise, you wouldn't be taking the time to listen to me. So there's a certain transcendence from our limited self to a greater self, greater in keeping as men and women and children of God. We're all children of God. Let's just say children of God. Or children of the pure manifestation of the universe, or of love and compassion. So we move beyond what is not there. We don't push it away and pretend we're something we're not. We move through what we are. The journey is of the moving through, the processing, the dealing with it, the healing from it. And as we do that, we settle. And we're not settling into nothing. And we're not settling into something that's not us. We're not becoming something that we're not. We're actually becoming what we really truly are. And we're becoming something. That space is our birthright. The heavens above also lives within us. And as we deepen within us, we actually increase our connection with the heavens above. And we learn to surrender to it. We learn to connect with it. We learn to trust it. We're still in the driver's seat. We always have choice. But we learn to go with that current, with the flow, and move into that new river. And our GPS changes. Our car changes. The freeway we're on changes. We observe openly to what arises in that calm space. And we see things come through, thoughts, wisdom, those aha moments, different perspective, different frequencies into our body. And so our momentum on how we engage is different. And lo and behold, we navigate things in a different way. And we come to discover it's a better way. It's a less painful way. And a lot of issues we might have encountered and we think we would encounter actually don't. Because somehow our dance, the way we go about our life, somehow has a flow that doesn't shake things up. And we're able to move through things in a way that's more put it. In a flow, and things become more peaceful. Our timing becomes more perfect. obstacles don't come up. Things to help us, somehow we end up being at the right place at the right time. It's a blessings. It's a divine order. And this is where everything is leading towards, to live in that space. It's the space of the prophets. It's the space of the saints. It's the space of so many examples we've had throughout history. And all the teachings, the ethics, the commandments, and everything is to create a way of being that we enter into alignment and able to live through that space. Live from that space. Become the manifestation of that space. And the path is becoming increasingly more and more and more of a manifestation from that space. That's the progress. What I call like the Emmanuel manifestations, from 2, 5, 10% to a full manifestation of the space. A full manifestation of the Shekhinah in your embodied form that goes by your name, that has the characteristics of you. Things you like and dislike may change. The way you go about things may change. But you will say it's still you. Just like you're not yourself from when you were 8 or a teenager or in college or in your 30s if you're in your 50s. Or if you're from when you were in your 40s, when you're in your 80s, we evolve. We change, yet we would say it was still us. So this is a positive evolution of who we are. And it's the path. And the most progress we make is connecting with that source. This is why I find the Aleph to be so important, because we're relating directly with the source of the current, of that energy, of that space. Everything comes from it. The space is pregnant with it. And so we're going to take a break, about 7 minutes, maybe 8, and do what you need to do, but try to maintain this open space. And then we're going to go meditate a little bit and try to be in that space. Feel it. It's not outer space at all. It's like a blanket. It's like slightly warm air that you can feel that's around your body. It has a certain density to it. Or it could feel open and clear. But you feel that something could come through that clarity. It's an openness. And you release things. You feel energy leave. You relax. You feel your body relax. You could feel your muscles crack, your spine cracks. And it's important to move and allow that to happen. That's the energy that's in your body that's stuck, leaving, and your body realigns to a better alignment, because that energy didn't serve you. Otherwise, it wouldn't leave. And And as your body goes through things, it realigns and realigns and releases, and that's a recentering. The Aleph, for me, is the ground zero of that, which is why I mention it so often. And so I'll send out the link of this teaching, and I hope in the next couple weeks, people, when they have a little time, you guys will listen to it again. And it's currently the first video on the video section. It's a symbol. It represents something. And sometimes a symbol is the most profound teachings. From a symbol, everything arises from what it represents. The Aleph is a human creation. Okay, let's not think there's an Aleph in the sky. But it has no sound, and it's beyond thought. But sometimes, because of how our minds work and how we're embodied as human beings, just looking at something creates a connection. And it's a reminder. Of what's truly real. What truly exists here and in the next world, and before there were worlds, and after all the worlds. It's the beginning, and it's the end, and it's everything in between. And it's truly transcendent. All the worlds, all the words, all the teachings, all the practices, all the prayers, all the sacred names, everything's from that. It's truly pregnant. And so by relating to that and this space is truly the most profound practice. In other traditions, relating to things is considered to be the most profound practice in their tradition, and they're not relating to an Aleph. So I don't speak about those things, but the concept is similar. We use the names of God because it helps us on our journey and it works directly with energy. Aleph doesn't quite have that. It's visual. Yet it's very powerful. It takes time to get there. So it's the Aleph, a single name of God, multiple names of God. You see how it works? And there's that path from multiple names of God to people working with 102, one name of God, and then an Aleph practice. And so today we're just going to work a little bit with the Aleph, and I'm not going to say anything. And there's going to be no music at the end. And people can continue after I'm done. Or if they feel after 20, 30 minutes they're done, they could log off. But even if you don't know what to do with this, and I did give a practice or two in the past, you just have the image in front of you and you open into space. Let go of your thoughts. You don't even need to look at it if you don't feel to. Or you can look at it. What's important is that everything we've gone through before, through these 7 weeks, we take that moment to breathe. Take the moment to breathe. This is why last week I said on Sunday, do something that brings you happiness and joy. Or take a moment and have a walk by yourself. It's not running to the next thing, hoping that thing is the one, that's it, that'll magically break through. If there was something that magically breaks through, it's the first thing I would have said, and it's the thing I would have repeated for the last 2.5 years. We've received already what breaks through. All the practices. What breaks through is what's explained in the sacred books and in prayers and in our services. But it's a journey. And we move into the Shekhinah through our decisions, our efforts, our taking time and care to invest in it. And what we're really investing in is ourselves. So let's take about 7-8 minutes and we'll start. Okay, so if people kind of come back to their place and maybe stretch a little bit and get ready, and then I'll explain a little bit what we're going to do. So I was thinking about what I said on Wednesday night, and I said something very different, but about the same thing. So maybe have a listen as to what I said at the Wednesday night prayer gathering, and it'll complement what I've said today. I think I only spoke for about 25 minutes, so it's not too long. It's important. These teachings really cut through to the essence. They really help you progress really fast because you see clearly the energetic space we're aiming for. And that way you're not beating about the bush and you're not going wayward, or focusing on something and not realizing that it's pointing to something deeper, and you keep on the surface of it. So make this space what you would like it to be. There's a whole practice of staying in the openness of an aleph. It takes practice because your mind has to be steady and open. And if you've had to sort of, for lack of a better word, discipline it, brought it under control, and that's why I recommend the meditation techniques, because it's a thing one can do, and I've spoken about it many times. And to do a practice like the Aleph requires a certain amount of grounding and learning how to release thoughts. And it comes with time, and I hope people take a little time here and there to develop that ability. But one can just look at it for a couple minutes and develop that ability as well. But a space like this, and doing that practice for hours at a time, requires practice, but it's very possible. And for days at a time and weeks at a time. But that's a talk for another day. But what's important is to find that space. So you can read a little Torah. You can do a couple mantras. You can do whatever practice you feel called to, briefly. And then feel that space with what you've tapped into. It's not to analyze what you've read, but maybe find a passage that you've always found inspiring. or made you feel particularly connected to God. It's tapping into this space that's beyond doing something, but rather trying to feel the openness or the energy of what you've touched into and resting in that and letting go of thoughts and see how long you could rest in that. And if you start getting annoyed or like, and your mind starts moving again, then reinvest in what you were doing. If after 25 minutes you think you've had enough, then you stop. It's meant to be an open, pregnant space where you can pray, offer up incense, bow to God, whatever you choose, but it's relating to the Shekhinah, to what underlies everything. It's tapping into everything we've done during these last 7 weeks to get closer to God. So here we are trying to be able to better feel that presence. Yes? Okay. So for me personally, I think I will only do this for about 35 minutes, and then I think I'll like to take a walk and continue there in nature. So I invite people to make it for themselves. It doesn't have to be seated down. It could be looking outside a window to your favorite garden or a hill or something, a tree. It's being able to tap in and touch into that sacred space at the beach, watching your grandchildren play. It's available everywhere, even at work. And we learn to touch it. So let's light our prayer space. And then we'll say the Shema, and then it's your space, your time. ready? Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. May Yahweh heal us from everything that keeps us from Him. Yahweh Rapha, Yahweh Rapha, Yahweh Rapha, Yahweh Rapha, Yahweh Rapha, Yahweh Rapha. Continue as you wish. Until next week. Bye-bye.